Hello everyone and welcome to episode 77 of this Let's Play series of Star Trek Online. My name is Winters and I am still not feeling the best. I seem to be definitely getting the flu. So again, apologies if I do not sound like my usual self. Anyway, this episode we are going to talk about fleets. In the last episode what I actually done was I had sent myself a fleet invite and I accepted it, but then we started talking about Q's Winter Wonderland and all that sort of stuff. So for this episode, yeah, it's going to be about fleets. So fleets in Star Trek Online are basically guilds. They're a large group of players that band together to form a fleet, and typically they work together doing endgame content to build up the fleet and its facilities in order to get high-end endgame gear. Now, another thing with fleets is usually they should, if you're in a, I'm going to say I don't care if anyone doesn't like what I'm saying, but a good fleet should have members who are willing to help you and teach you about the game and show you tips and tricks on getting currencies and working on your build to maximize your full potential. To be perfectly honest with you and blunt, if you're not in a fleet that's not willing to help you out or anything like that, if there's poor leadership or anything, get out of it. Just get out of it. You need to find yourself a good fleet. Now, part of me really wanted to do this video, as in the video on fleets, early on in this series, but because I've been doing the Let's Play series and talking about all the different systems as they opened up to us, it just happened that now is the first chance that I'm getting to do it, because it's becoming relevant. Having said that, if you're a new player to the game, you're probably better off to get into a fleet as quickly as possible and just see how things work within that fleet. Like, if there's no communication, for example, you're probably not in a good fleet, and you can leave it and join up with another fleet. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the fleet window, which is done by clicking on this button, which is marked as Your Fleet, in the bottom right hand corner of the minimap. And as I said in the last episode, this is one of my many fleets, Priority 1 Beta, and this is the one that I've sent the invite to. And this is our starbase. Each fleet has its own starbase. They're all located in the same place, it's just different instances. And these are the different facilities. So this is the military facility, this is engineering, and this is science. This is the current fleet level, which is 61. It is on its way to level 65, which it will be in a couple of weeks. There has been a new update to the game recently, and it added in a new facility, or holding, and it has increased the max level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on View Starbase here. And this brings us to the holding window. We can see up here holdings is highlighted. And if we look along the left hand side, we can see that we have different holdings. The Starbase holding, the Spire, the Research Lab, K-13, Embassy, and the Lithium Mine. Now, the way it works is, when a fleet starts off, these are all empty. They're just grey, and there is 0 XP in all of them. And what happens is, these are different projects. This is a military project because it's red, this is a science project because it's bluey green, and this is an engineering project because it's yellow. And if we click on the project, we can see that there is a number of resources that are needed for it. And we can see this is filled, this is filled, this is filled, this is filled, this is almost filled. And what happens is, you donate resources to projects and you get fleet credits back. Now, I'm going to talk about something that we have been building up for quite a while, which is here in our assets window, fleet marks. We can see now I have just over 3,000 fleet marks, and this is where you spend them. They cannot be used anywhere else in game. Alright, so don't think you're giving up something that's valuable. What you are trying to do is you are trying to contribute your fleet marks to your fleet. And if I click on this here, contribute, we see here I get 25,500 fleet credits back. Okay, so you're not giving stuff away and getting nothing out of it. Anytime you donate resources to fleet or fleet projects, you are getting fleet credits back. If we, let's see, we'll have a look at some of these other projects. So we can see we need more fleet marks here on this one. And we need more fleet marks here in this one. And we need more in this one. So this is actually working out quite nicely for me. But for us in our fleet, or fleets, projects cycle over quite regularly. So it's never really that hard to get rid of fleet marks. And it just so happens that I was able to get rid of a large quantity there. Right, so now, look, if we see here, our fleet credits, I've spent just under 2,000 of my fleet marks within the fleet, and I've got nearly 100,000 fleet credits back. Now, I will use those fleet credits later on to purchase high-end fleet gear. In order to buy fleet gear, you need fleet credits and lithium. And a typical build, you are looking at about 1 million fleet credits. If you want to have a good power, well, not even necessarily powerful, but just a good stable build, you're looking at about 1 million fleet credits. It could go up as high as 3 million, but your ordinary bog standard basic run of the mill, you're looking at about 1 million fleet credits. Something else I want to point out is marks are not the only way to earn fleet credits. So for example here, civilian duty officers that are needed, we can see the contribute button is highlighted here for us. I can actually get rid of some DOFs that I have built up. For example, colonists, okay? You should end up with an absolute crap ton of colonists from the Admiralty system. If I open up my inventory here, look at this. Faction-specific colonists. I have 10 of them there boxed. And these then, prisoners, I have 25 of them boxed. And for this particular project, I'm getting 250 fleet credits back for each one of them. For fleet marks, you only get 50 fleet credits for each fleet mark. But for these, you get 250. DOFs is actually the best way to get fleet credits. So there now, there's 20 of those colonists, and I'm going to get an extra 5,000. Boom. If I start opening this, prisoners, I'm just going to check this real quick. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to open up 10 of them. We can see here our brig, the number is going up. And I can hold a maximum of 20 in my brig. Okay. And I go down here again. There's the prisoners. I'm doing nothing else with them. You're not losing anything. And I'm getting 250 fleet credits back for each one of them. And you get crap tons of them in the Admiralty system. So you may as well throw them into the fleet. A good fleet should have this project running pretty much all the time. If it's not, again, to be perfectly blunt about it, the fleet leadership is probably not doing what they should be doing. So I'm going to open up all of these and put them in. And if I click on this again and we go down to prisoners, where's prisoners? There we go. We just need one more DOF. Boom. That project is now on cooldown. And when a project is filled, it will go on a cooldown. And when that cooldown finishes, a new project should pop up if the fleet leadership are doing what they're doing. But yeah, don't think that fleet marks is the only way to earn fleet credits. And here's something I want to point out as well. expertise is usually the first thing to get filled, but the payout for XP is absolutely crap. So for 100,000 XP, you would only get about 4,000 fleet credits back. I think that's the correct ratio. It's damn close to it anyway. It's something like that. For 100,000 XP, you only get 4,000 fleet credits back. So I've seen people getting pissy and giving out about, oh, the expertise is always taken. And they think that they're going to get massive amounts of fleet credits because it says 100,000 there. But the ratio is shit. It is absolutely crap, and you will get nothing for it. It's not worth it. Dilithium, you get a 1:1 ratio. So if this project was completely empty and I put in 81,000 dilithium in there, I would get 81,000 fleet credits back. And often you're actually probably better off to throw in dilithium into your fleet rather than purchasing, let's say, weapons from the Reputation store. Because the Reputation store takes marks for that particular reputation, and it also takes dilithium, and it also takes probably elite marks. All of that stuff could be turned into more dilithium, and you could probably get better stuff from the fleet if you just threw in, 20,000 dilithium into your fleet and get fleet credits back for it. So let's say, what do I want to open here? I want to open this. Let's have a look-see. We'll go with Terran. Okay, so what is this? Terran Task Force Bat'leth. It needs 40,000 energy credits, 9,000 dilithium, 5 Terran gravimetric inducers. They can be turned in for dilithium, and it needs 500 Terran marks. Those 500 Terran marks could be turned into more dilithium as well. So you're looking at probably 20,000 dilithium there that you've put in for that one item, whereas you might spend altogether 15,000 dilithium to get the fleet credits that's needed and purchase the item from the fleet. So it's something worth keeping in mind. Now, there are some people, and they just like to get sets. They want the full sets, and that's totally fine. Just remember that reputation gear is the most expensive gear to upgrade in the game, and we will talk about upgrades later on in this series because we haven't come to it yet. So anyway, right, these projects, there are many different types of projects that can be run on all the different facilities or holdings. So for example, this particular project is giving 500 military experience, and it's also given 30 Starbase military operational asset provisioning. Provisions are needed to purchase fleet gear. If we click on provisions here, we can see a full list of all available provisions that there are. So for example, Starbase military fleet ship provisions, 1001. That means that we can purchase 1001 fleet ships. Most likely, everyone is going to end up with a fleet ship because they're just better. Fleet ships have 10% more hull, 10% more shields, and an extra console slot. They're just better. They're the end game ships that you want to be going for. Starbase engineering personnel requisition provisioning. These provisions are used to purchase fleet weapons, for example, as well as fleet ground armor. And this is how many items that can be purchased. There's just over 1,200 there in total. And when we run these projects, as you can see, the projects also build up your provisions. And without provisions, your fleet cannot buy anything. Now the experience, 500 Starbase military experience. Do you remember when I said that these, when a new fleet starts, these are set to 0, alright? If we completed that project, this one here, it will go on a 20-hour cooldown. And in 20 hours time, there will be 500 XP in here. So the bar might have progressed up by this much, roughly. And as we complete projects, the bar slowly but surely progresses up until it gets to tier 1, and then an upgrade is done. And then it continues on again until it gets up to tier 2, and another upgrade is done. And it goes this way all the way up until you get to tier 5. All of the smaller holdings work the very same way. So if I click on K13 here, for example, this is currently being built. As you can see here now, this Xenotech research facility has 38,800 Xenotech research experience, and that's where it is there. You can see the bar is filled up as far as there. If I click on this project, look at what it rewards: 1,200 K13 Xenotech experience points. So in 19 hours and 50 minutes, this will jump up from where it is there probably to there, and that extra 1,200 XP will be added on here. And as you progress up through different tier levels, you unlock different gear. So I'm going to go back to the starbase here now, for example, and let's choose engineering. Tier 1 engineering allows advanced fleet ground weapons and advanced fleet ground armor. That's what it unlocks. Those are the things, the only fleet things you can purchase when engineering gets up to tier 1. When engineering gets up to tier 2, we can buy advanced fleet space weapons and advanced fleet engines when it gets up to tier 2. When engineering gets up to tier 3, we can purchase elite fleet ground weapons and elite fleet ground armor. And every single one of these, like let's say tier 4 science, we can purchase elite fleet deflector dishes and elite fleet space shields. If we click on tier 5 here for military, look at all the stuff that's unlocked here. These are all different types of ships. So these are all Romulan ones, these are KDF ones, and these ones then are all Starfleet or Federation ships. These are all the tier 5 unlocks once you get military up to tier 5. And this works the very same way for every holding. So for example, when we got Xenotech research up to tier 1, it unlocked 23rd century kit modules and Xenotech engineering console with resistance focus. When we got up to tier 2, it unlocked 23rd century kit modules, Kelvin stasis belt and staff of Landru. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what that is. And engineering, Xenotech engineering console with turn rate focus. When we get it up to tier 3 in a couple of weeks time, we will get Xenotech engineering console with EPS focus. So yeah, that's basically how fleets work. If we click on the roster here, a good way to keep track of what you have earned in the fleet is when you initially come to this page, this is how it will look like, or it might look a little something like this, depending on how many people are online. But if you change member comments to overall holding contributions, you can see exactly how many fleet credits you have earned since you joined the fleet. And we can see I've already built up 104,750 fleet credits, and I just got into the fleet. I just got in, and I've already built that up already. It's not hard to earn fleet credits, trust me, it is not hard at all. If you try. It is hard if you're not willing to put in time and resources. There are far too many people in game who think that fleet marks is the only way that you can earn fleet credits. The best way to earn fleet credits is actually DOFs. If you can get into DOFs, that is the best way to do it. And look, I'm going to show you, we can even earn more. Do you remember those recruitment projects that we were running down on Starfleet Academy? We're still running them. And look, I can put in engineering DOFs into this project. And I just got 4,500 fleet credits out of that. And I've just put in all those. Now trust me, you do not want to keep your white... Oh yeah, that's something I should point out. The DOFs that are needed for fleets, they're always white. And you don't want to hang on to white DOFs. Like these ones. You want purple DOFs. So those ones that you pick up from Starfleet Academy, the white ones, throw them into your fleet, and you'll get a crap ton of fleet credits back for them if you're farming them regularly. Right, let's see, what is next? Okay, the dilithium mine. The dilithium mine allows you to purchase fleet warp cores, which are really, really good. And it also allows you to purchase fleet engineering consoles. You can also purchase some DOFs there. And you can also refine an extra little bit of dilithium there. You can refine an extra 500 dilithium per day at the fleet mine. You can also mine extra dilithium there as well, assuming that your fleet has got it all unlocked. The embassy. The embassy, you can purchase bridge officers. You can also purchase science consoles. And you can also purchase some ground gear like kits and some modules as well. K13, you can purchase ground weapons, duty officers, engineering consoles, and kits from K13, assuming that your fleet has got enough of it, or built up appropriately. The research lab. The research lab has kits, duty officer assignments, science consoles, and secondary deflectors are the main things that are found at the Fleet Research Lab. The Spire, you have more ground gear like kits. You have some pets. You have more warp cores, and probably the biggest thing is fleet tactical consoles. I guarantee you now, no matter what your build, you need to get your tactical consoles from the Spire. Guaranteed. I will put any amount of money on with anyone. It's just, it's a fact. They are the best tactical consoles you can get in the game. And that is where you need to get them, is from the Spire. The Starbase. The Starbase allows you to purchase fleet chips. You can also get ground weapons and armor. You can get space weapons and engines, as in impulse engines. You can get shields, space and ground, deflectors, and pets from the Starbase. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, that's a quick rundown on everything, I think. Armadas. Right. Armadas is basically a group of 13 fleets that have banded together to form an armada. And we can see here there is 13 fleets. The top fleet is known as the Alpha Fleet. In this case, we have called it Priority 1 Armada. And then we have the fleet that I'm in now, currently, which is, again, another one of mine. Priority 1 Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Theta, and so on. Depending on the level of the fleets, so for example, Beta, we know is level 61, it all adds up here to combine to make your Armada level. Now, as your Armada level increases, so does these bonuses here. So the Alpha Fleet gets an 8% bonus to experience points. It gets an 8% bonus to gaining experience. And the fleet gets a dilithium discount of 2%. Any of the beta fleets, which is this one, and this one, there's only 3 of them, get a 4% bonus to XP and a 4% dilithium discount on all projects. And the Gamma fleets, which are these ones here, all 9 of these ones, get a 2% bonus to XP and an 8% dilithium discount for all its fleet projects. And as all the different fleet levels increase, so does your armada level, and so do these bonuses. They increase then as well. And we can see exactly how many people or characters are in the armada. There's just under 1,800 within the armada. What else do I want to talk about? I'm not going to bring you around on the locations yet. I think I might do that in a different episode when we're actually going to buy the gear. I think that would probably be the best thing to do with that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else actually. So yeah, basically, my top tips are: get into a fleet early on, try and determine if it's a good fleet, because you really need to find yourself a good fleet. You know, you want to be in a fleet that's, well, you know, active. There's no point in being in one that's dead, because unless you're going to build it up yourself, which would pretty much be an impossibility with the amount of resources that's needed. You're not going to be able to benefit from anything, really. You'll never be able to unlock any of the high-end gear that you will need, like your tactical consoles for your ship and your build. So yeah, get into a fleet early on. Try and determine if it's a good one or not. If it's not, get out and, you know, keep on looking. There is always fleets out there recruiting. You've probably, you know, only ran as far as Admiral Quinn's office and you got a blind invite from somebody. It just happens. There's always fleets recruiting, always. Oh, there's another DOF mission finished. Excellent. See, do we have any more here? Nope. Okay. So yeah. Ooh, I know what I want. I want to put on red matter capacitor. There we go. Definitely can't forget that. Yeah, that's a really good thing to have. And again, I wanted to show that to you guys, so you know you wouldn't think that I spent money. You've seen exactly how I got that, which was in the previous episode. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks a million for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out enormously, because I'm only getting started with these Let's Play series, and yeah, your support really helps me, you know, develop the channel and hopefully get known. So yeah, thanks a million for that. Anyway, I guess I will see you next time. So until then, take care.